Welcome back to Action 2 News at 5. Wisconsin is joining 19 other states and the District of Columbia to stop the Trump administration from shutting down the Department of Education. The lawsuit filed in Massachusetts federal court today. It alleges the administration is gutting the agency as a way to implement an unlawful plan to dismantle the department. On Tuesday, the Trump administration announced it is cutting nearly half of the department's staff. In a statement on the lawsuit, Governor Tony Evers says in part, quote, "I will fight every effort by President Trump and his administration to mess with our schools, our kids, and their futures, especially when he doesn't have the power to do what he's trying to do, like trying to unilaterally obliterate an agency Congress created," end quote.